It's that time on Thursdays when we like to head south and check in with our good friend, former Alabama offensive lineman, two-time national champion, Mr. Alphonse Shankk Taylor. It's Shankk Uncut on Southern Fried Sports, presented by Carty and Lloyd, attorneys at law, and Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa. Hey, Shankk, as we bring you on, where do you got those national championship rings, by the way? What do you do with those?
I actually have them at my house now, out on display, man. It's football season, and I have friends come over all the time, so I just have them out for them to see, man.
Man, I would have those things on. I'd be awful about that. I'd be that guy, Shankk. You know that guy, right? Who wears his stuff?
Yeah, I know that guy.
You know that guy? Well, I'm that guy. I'd have mine on, man.
I mean, it's very tempting to be that guy, man. It's hard not to be, but, it's just I try to be humble about it. So,
what do you think when you see that guy? What's the first thought that goes to your mind when you see that guy that's got all the rings on?
Oh man, I'm just like, it's not my cup of tea, but he earned it.
Shoot your shot, right? Shoot your shot. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Shankk, as you know, it seems like we've been talking about this for a month now or so, but the situation involving Tagovailoa and the narrative of whether he should play, whether he should sit. Take us through, if you would, the process that goes into not only determining if a guy is cleared to participate, but as much as anything, cleared to compete. In other words, he's good to go. He can play in games, and then where it kind of goes from there if you're a football player at Alabama.
Well, you have meetings with the head trainer, Jeff Allen, and, he'll look at your situation, and if you're able to play, man, they're going to play you. Simple as that. But if they feel it's necessary for you to sit out and you need some rehabbing, then they'll do that as well. But, don't look to take the easy way out. They'll lessen your workload at practice. They'll do what they deem necessary in order to help you heal, but also while still getting in work at the same time. And when it comes to games, man, if you practice that week, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna play. It might lessen your reps. I don't really know how the skill positions are, but I know at O-line, if you could play, it was a go. You were going to play.
Now, if you're cleared to play and everyone else, your teammates know you're cleared to play and you're deemed good to play, does that put added pressure on you to make sure you give it a go from that standpoint of the team dynamic? And how important is that in all this? We heard Nick Saban kind of touch on it in terms of, how, if you can play, you need to play. And it goes beyond just the physical aspect or the contributions a guy can make. It's kind of an expectation setter, I guess, for everybody else on the team, right?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, man. Of course, everybody's looking around to see what each other's doing, so you don't want to be that guy that can go and then you're just like, nah, I think I'm going to take this break. I think I'm going to pull my vet card, because they pay attention to that. So if you can play and you can practice, that's what you should do.
In situations like that, I guess it can hurt a guy's credibility, right, in the locker room. If it's pretty much a known or a given that this guy can go, but he's not going. Is that something you've experienced in the past?
Oh, without a doubt. It's hard, especially if you're looking at a guy that's in a leadership position. It's hard to listen to him when he's telling you, come on, we got to give it our all, when he's over here taking breaks or taking days off, taking reps off, but, he can still go. And so that's something you don't necessarily overlook. And then when you get into the grit and grime of things and you got that same guy trying to tell you to push yourself and you're just looking at him like the pot calling the kettle black, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
yeah, some credibility issues can come about as a part of it, and I understand, right? I mean, you got to do what your body tells you at the same time, though, and the last thing a player needs to do is try to keep something right from the training staff. I know you've been down this road, and the coaching staff, as far as the degree in which you're injured, because a lot of guys are good at that too, right? Kind of trying to hide, their injuries or things like that because they want to play too much.
Yeah, and I've been that guy that hasn't been completely honest because I wanted to play just that bad. I wanted to be on the field. I was tired of being hurt, and in the long run, it's not good. It's not good for you at all. I mean, the Arkansas game, 2016, I had got a concussion earlier in the week that week, and it was basically put all on me if I was ready to go or not, going through the protocol and everything. And so although you want to push it, although you want to show what you can do, you want to be that tough guy, it's not the smartest thing to do.
So when did it hit you ultimately that week that it wasn't good, that you had to make that call?
I mean, that week it was just like after that game, I knew I wasn't ready after that game because I got a concussion that game, and it was just basically all downhill from that. And, I just wasn't keeping it real with myself before that game. I thought I could go because my symptoms had kind of went away. They weren't 100% gone, and I thought I'd be fine. But after I got a concussion in that game, it was just kind of all downhill from there.
Yeah, that's the reality of the other side of this reality too. As we talk with Alphonse Shankk Taylor here on Shankk Uncut on a Thursday edition of Southern Fried Sports. Looking back on that Mississippi State game from Saturday, Shankk, safe to say that's about the biggest challenge we've seen this Alabama offense have on its plate to date.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt, I thought they played us a lot tougher than LSU did. We had them on the road staff for a while, but once Mississippi State kind of settled in and played that game and kind of figured out what we were doing and, stuck to that game plan, they gave us a tough go at it. But at the same time, we proved that we could take the game over on the ground as well. So it was a good turnout for us, even though it was a tough game.
Yeah, it was kind of first quarter and fourth quarter where the Alabama run game sort of controlled it. The second and third quarters, though, Mississippi State was some really good work in its front seven, real aggressive in its approach, I guess, to dealing with the Alabama offense. And when you talk about the situation at left guard, we talked about Deonte Brown last week, and you like some others have been very high on the redshirt sophomore. He goes out with turf toe, even though it's a veteran coming in there in Lester Cotton. Does it change things? You would think, given Lester's experience, the chemistry would still be okay, but is there still a noticeable difference when you lose one of those guys like that?
Yeah, you can tell the difference. I could tell the difference while watching the game. Some of the plays we were running that was popping through while Brown was at left guard. The same plays weren't typically working while Lester was there. I mean, all the assignments were still on point, but as far as an ability standpoint, I think Brown edged him out in that aspect, and he was able to make more things happen at that left guard spot.
Hey, Shankk, if you got a minute, we're going to head to the phone lines at 205-342-9904. We have Tom on the Peterbrook Chocolatier studio line. He's got a question for you in relation to Deonte Brown, I believe. Tom, you with us?
I am, Travis. Thanks for taking my call.
Go right ahead, Tom. You're on with Alphonse Shankk Taylor.
Alphonse, how are you, man?
I'm good. How we doing?
I'm doing good. I was thinking about last week, and watching Deonte and his injury on his toe. And I thought when you came on today, you could give some insight as what kind of a problem an injury like he suffered with his toe. A lot of us, don't understand a man that size gets something wrong with his foot or toe or whatever. It has a huge effect on him. And I wanted you, if you would, just kind of go in a little bit of detail how that sets a big man like that back.
All right, Tom, we'll get to it. Thanks, my man.
Injury like that, man, it can set a big guy back big time because you got to think about it. Most of our power comes from the lower body and being able to move our feet and place our feet in certain places and move side to side really well. And to have an injury like that, it's going to slow him down a lot, man, because that turf toe, that's a painful injury to have, man. That's basically ligament damage in the toe. And, it's just going to be tough to watch him move around. That's what I want to see. I want to see how he moves around after that. Because if that toe gets stiff, man, and doesn't want to get loose for him, it'll be a long day for him because he won't be able to move the way he wants to. He won't be able to place his feet the way he wants to. Basically, it'll limit him and all the abilities you need to play offensive line.
And Shankk, help me out here. Big toe versus maybe another toe. It's got to be magnified, right? With it being the big toe. I mean, as much as you're playing, on the balls of your feet and trying to drive, that's got to be a lot tougher than if it were, any of the other toes, I would think.
Oh, without a doubt, because everything starts with that big toe. Like you said, being on the balls of your feet, getting your cleats in the ground and driving out, it all starts with that big toe, and then the other toes fall behind. And so for that main toe to be injured in such a way, it's going to make it really tough on him.
There you go. Thanks for the call, Tom. Thanks for the question. If you have one for Alphonse Shankk Taylor, you can ask it right now at 205-342-9904. It is that weekend, Shankk, on the college football schedule for this Alabama team and others where you have the FCS opponent coming in. Nick typically lightens the load for the team with that Monday being more of an off day. I think fans look at a day off and think, oh, it's just one day. But when you're at this point of the season, especially, how important can that be for a player, to just have that day to maybe not have as much on his plate this late in the season?
Man, that is a major thing for a player from a morale standpoint, from a mental standpoint. That is a big thing. And it's been a long season so far up to this point, and guys are gassed, fatigue setting in. And, there's been a lot of football played. There's been countless hours of film being watched. And just to have that workload, lighten just for a day, it means a lot. You'll come back the next day feeling refreshed, man, mentally, physically. It's a big deal.
Yeah, watching individual drills just on Tuesday when we were out there, Joe Panunzio, the running backs coach, working with his guys, and he was very vocal about how he could see, even with just that one day, his guys were refreshed and had a little more hop and a little more pep in their step. So it seems like it's definitely a difference maker, especially this time of year. Hey, Shankk, as we let you go, I know you're a hoops fan, right? What do you think about your man LeBron so far out there in LA? How would you grade that that teaming of LeBron with the Lakers so far?
I think it's going really well. I mean, we started off a little slow, but I think we're starting to pick up some momentum, and we're starting to figure some things out, man. And he's going to be all right. So I'm pegging LeBron and the Lakers for the finals this year.
Finals?
I'm pegging them for the finals. Hey, I'm riding with King James all the way.
The Western Conference Finals or the finals, Shankk? What are we talking about?
The finals. The finals. We not worried
finals.
about the Warriors. We not worried about none of those. We going to the finals.
Hey, is this KD Draymond thing about to implode, you think, at Golden State?
Nah, I doubt it, man. They too good of a team to let something like that ruin them. It'd just be blasphemy to let something like that ruin the team that good.
They need to get Steph back on the floor. He can kind of maybe smooth over some of that stuff with him being out. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch here as we head throughout the next 6 or 7 months, it seems like, before we get to the NBA playoffs. But should be a lot of fun. Hey, Shankk, as always, my man, we really appreciate you being here with us. And a big one for you next week. We're going to preview Auburn. I know you love that.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Your second favorite team, right? Auburn, your second favorite team.
Oh, man. Stop it. Let's just stop it.
All right, Shankk. Have a great weekend, my man. We'll do it again next week.
All right, you as well. Roll Tide.